Okay, hello everybody. It has been a long time. I am aware of this since I did a video. But I've been really busy, so I'm just going to get straight into it. This video, you're going to see this little green scarf and this white shirt through a couple more videos. Because I'm going to try to do a few videos today to kind of catch up. I kind of go through the semester and have been going through the semesters, kind of jotting down YouTube videos that I should do and talk about. I just don't get to do them because I don't like to get on I don't like to do the videos when I come home, like mascara is smeared, I look like death, and everything else. And I don't want to talk anymore at the end of the day. So let's remember that I am a full-time employee. I'm an academic advisor in the day, and I am a part-time law student. So I have no time for shenanigans. Okay, so this video is note-taking my note-taking method / studying. Please remember, I'm not saying this because I'm like getting comments or messages or rude things. I just want to remind everybody that this is my opinion. It's my personal experience. I am not saying that this works. I am not saying that this will get you an A, because it does not get me an A. I am just saying, here's an idea, here's what I do, here's what you can do, or something to start with and to improve on. It's just tips that I feel like giving out, that I feel like are needed. Okay, so this is basically what I do. It's the start of the semester. Let's say you got like a week before classes start. So what I do is I look at each class, I get my book out for each class, and most of the classes won't have you won't need like a separate folder. So I just have my books and my laptop. Now, if you were watching the first videos, I had this Nike roller backpack. Horrible. It looked cute, but it didn't really hold 2 law books. Then I got that brown, like, luggage kind of backpack. It was kind of cool, but too much. Now I just use this one little laptop bag, and I put my book in it. It holds my book, and I'm able to do that now because I'm able to change my schedule up now. I no longer stay till 10 o'clock at class. I have Monday through Thursday, 6 to about 7:50, which is pretty good for me. This is the spring 2015 semester. I'm going into the summer 2015 semester, and then I have fall 2015 semester, and then I'm done. Woohoo! So, if you remember, hold on. So this was my plan. Like, remember how I showed you that design? And I've been kind of like keeping track. Not really, because those say complete and these don't. But I'm pretty much at like this point. Okay. So this is important to make because I have classmates who have to go full-time in the fall because they just realized, I'm tired of being in school and I would like to graduate. And in order to finish this semester, I had to take like 17 credits when they could have been taking so many a semester and summers and spacing it out to where they finished early. So create a plan like that. It's not going to have the exact classes that you're taking, but create that plan ahead of time. You have to do a lot of time management when you are balancing two totally different schedules. So create that plan early, like literally your first year, so that you know what it's going to take to get you out of here when you need to get out of here. Now, I would say start with the most rigorous, like if you want to get out in 3.5, like I'm doing as a part-time student, to most students, that's a lot. But if you want to do that, start with the most rigorous. And then if you're like, okay, I need to take 9 this semester, then you can see how it loosens up. But if you start with, I'm going to go the 5-year plan, and then later feel like you want to condense it, you kind of put yourself into a bind. So if that makes sense. Also, be aware of your requirements. No one's going to hold your hand and walk you through them. Be aware of your requirements, and be aware if you're doing a concentration, like I'm doing civil litigation, be aware of the requirements for that. And feel free to meet with the professor who's over that concentration. So back to note-taking / studying method. Basically, the start of class, you are going to look at your syllabus, read all of the syllabi, like each one of the classes. So you take your syllabus and you read it and you see, participation is this much. They don't always tell you that. They just hope you participate because it's 5% of your grade. Also, stuff like, you have this one little writing assignment due on this day. They don't always give you a heads up on, as they don't have to. You're an adult and you got a piece of paper that told you what you were going to do. It's up to you to keep up with it. So if you didn't learn that in undergrad, I am sorry for you, but you better learn it now. So you kind of keep track, and I would say I have a little academic planner. I like to write down my plans. I don't like to keep them in my phone. I like to write them down. So I have a planner where I keep track of that stuff. So I'll put the due date, but then I'll put 2 weeks earlier, I'll put something due, paper due, or whatever it is. Okay, so the professor gives you readings, right? So let's say the professor told you have this reading to do before the first day of class. This is bad, but I read the first day of class. I do, because you don't know how your professor is going to be. You don't know if your professor is going to be like you. What's the answer to that? Or if your professor is going to be like, does anybody know the answer? And then if nobody answers, he just answers. He or she just answers. So I do the work the first couple of classes, because the first class, they might have been really lenient or really hard, and that's not how they really are. The second class, still trying to get you in the mode. But by the third class or the first week, you should have figured out a little bit of how your professor rolls. So, for example, most of my professors have been like, if you know the answer, great. If you don't, I'm just going to keep going with class and you can take notes or whatever. You've probably heard this on previous videos. I don't read for those classes as I should. I do skim, but I don't have time to stay up to 2 in the morning and then get up at 7 o'clock to go to work. So I don't do all that reading, because when I get to class, I've read, what the dissent was and all of this stuff, and we don't even talk about it. I feel great, that's extra knowledge in my brain, but I need to know the substantive law, the rule, how to apply it, how it applied in these cases. I need to know the foundation, nitty gritty. All this extra information is I really don't have time or the brain space, honestly. So I want to know what the professor is going to teach me. So always remember, just keep it simple and remember, the professor is the one writing the test. So you first years who are here's what I think about this, we don't care, hush, let's move on. I was looking at this law, what about this theory? No, let's not talk about what ifs, okay? Unless the professor gives a hypo, we don't want to hear your what ifs. We're trying to get through this class, we're trying to get the information we need, and we're trying to make sure the professor stays on task with their plan, their outline, so that we don't have to make up days or scramble stuff in at the last minute. You and all your questions and your hypos can sit down. So if it's not going to be on the test, give it a rest, all right? Oh, okay, so I also want to throw in there the first years that, law school is great and people automatically assume you're brilliant. Yep, nope. Please don't do the whole Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, every post, every status is hashtag law school, hashtag law student problems, hashtag first year law student, hashtag get over yourself. Really, people are going to and say, good job, and I'm so proud of you and stuff, but it's not because they think you're awesome all the time. It's because you might be a lawyer one day. I might need you. I probably need to keep on your good side, so I'm not going to say, shut the heck up. So everybody that likes your statuses is not really rooting for you. Also, the people that don't like your status, and they just don't say anything, are like rolling their eyes and wishing that you would leave Facebook or whatever social media you're on. So please don't do the really overexcited, I'm in law school, I need to let everybody know. That's annoying. Anyway, so for the note-taking, studying method, let's go back to the first week. You're figuring out your professor. Now, for those of you who have those professors who call on you, you need to make sure you're paying attention to two things. What are they calling on you to know? Because if they're calling on you to know the facts of the case, and that's it, maybe don't do so much reading on the other stuff. You know, you really have to balance time management and importance level. So if you have time to read all that stuff, great, get you some extra knowledge. But if you don't, focus on what's important and what's needed in class to get through. So what are they calling on you about? Also, pay attention to the order that they're calling, because if they called the whole first row and then the whole second row, you can probably know, okay, it took them 1 week to call the first row. He went through the second row in the second week, so I'm on the third row. I'm going to get called this week. I probably should do my reading a little harder. Keep those things in mind and pay attention so that you know when to be prepared, so to speak. When to be a little more prepared. I have said this on a video before. I used to take notes and make an outline and do all this crap before I started class. And then I would get to class and be like, wait, what? I didn't take notes on that. I didn't get that. It's not about you. It's not about what you took notes on. It's not about what you got from the lecture. It's about this man or this woman standing up here talking, telling you what you need to know. So you need to walk in as a blank slate and just type away. Now, if you want to incorporate what you've learned and put it in there in different words or however you want to do that, that's smart to do. But come in with a blank slate, because if you're like me, if I already have outlines and stuff done, it really annoys me that I have to interject the professor's stuff into my neatly organized stuff when that makes no sense. Who cares about your neatly organized stuff? This person is writing the test. So always remember that. And that is honestly my overarching note-taking / studying method. I don't make it a huge deal. Also, for some of us, we can synthesize everything that they're saying. So I don't type the whole time a professor is talking. Everything that they say is not what you need to know. Some of it is, here's the law, here's explanation, and here's some extra tidbit to help you understand it, to clarify it for you. If you can synthesize, then clarify that in your mind and write what you need to write. Don't type everything they say, because what happens is, at the end of the semester, you have to go through that and sift out the bull from what you really need to know and narrow down your outline. And so that just becomes too much. When you could have spent 2 days studying, you spent 2 days organizing an outline when you were supposed to be doing that throughout the semester. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, because in the end, you lose that study time trying to do all that extra stuff. Another thing is, when the professor has a example or last year's or a couple years exam, make the time to do that exam, and then go over it with your professor. Ask, can you meet with them, or ask, can you send it to them? And a lot of professors will grade it as if, you took the exam, and they'll help you and give you feedback, maybe at midterm or before exam time. That is very helpful, because they don't really divert. They don't come up with completely new exams most of the time that next semester. So it helps you be prepared for what they're looking for, and that's what you want. So although it's a pain, I got other stuff to do throughout the semester, I'll worry about this during test time. Take the time to do that sample exam so that you can get an idea of what the professor wants. So that's pretty much my note-taking method. I don't really do anything else throughout the semester. If you're one of those people like me and you already know a friend with an outline not one of those commercial outlines, because here's the problem with commercial outlines. They're good, but they're not from your professor. So if you can get a friend or an organization that has an outline bank, please do that. It saves your life, honestly. So get that outline from your professor that taught it last semester, and your friend took, an outline and had all the notes. Get that one, because that's going to be more accurate to how your professor is going to cover it. And then what you do with that is you sit back, and since you know everything is on the outline, you don't have to type. Great for you. Does not mean you need to be on Facebook in class. It means you actually get to listen to the professor talking, maybe respond to some questions that he or she asks, instead of like, I got to type down what he's saying. What? Did you get that? It helps you do that, but you still need to listen and kind of get it. It makes it easier for you to listen and actually participate in class. On top of that, I usually, besides listening, when I get those outlines that are perfect, like what my professor, I usually do like a main points outline. And so I take very little from that outline and synthesize it down to like 2 or 3 sentences. So like basically, this means this, or the knockout rule is this for contracts, that kind of stuff. So it kind of helps. It becomes a quick reference guide outline, sort of. So that's pretty much my note-taking method. If your professor is saying something about policies, and I had to learn this the hard way, if your professor is saying like, from a policy standpoint or economically, how you can apply it to real life is what ends up happening is blah, blah, blah. Or they probably came up with this rule because this is what happened in the world, and that is not just BS that they are talking. That is a policy argument, and you need to write it down, because policy arguments, putting policy and applying what you know into a policy argument in an exam gets you from a B+ student to an A student, or, an A- or something. Those policy arguments go a long way, and I didn't realize that until my 3rd year, sadly. So take your lesson from me. So this is pretty much the end of this video, because it's like running to like 20 minutes. So I'm going to end here. If you have any questions about my note-taking method, my studying method, studying habits, please let me know. And maybe I'll do a video over like the finals week and just kind of let you know how I go about that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to write in the comment box. And I usually do a pretty good job at answering them quickly. I try to. Thanks for watching. Bye.